What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. There is a lot that we need to talk about, so let's do this. Now, you figure with the beginning of 2020, you think everything is going to be wonderful and so much more, but alas, it is not. You see, the first thing I want to talk about is what's going on in Australia. Well, Australia is facing an unprecedented national crisis as bushfires tear through rural communities across the nation. Now, its Great Barrier Reef is dying, its rainforests are burning, its giant kelp forests are heavily vanished, and numerous towns have been run out of water or are about to. And the vast continent is just basically burning on a scale that's never before seen. Now, if you look at some of the images that's going online on social media and everything that's on the way, you can see that it's basically a cross between Mad Max and On the Beach, as thousands are driven away from their homes and onto beaches where there is like a dull orange haze, and tons of people are crowding these beaches, and animals are almost medieval, and the storage madness and everything that's on the way is so much more. Now, the fires have already burned about 14.5 million acres, people, and that's almost an area as large as West Virginia. More than triple of that area has been destroyed by the 2018 fires that were in California, and 6 times more than the fires in the Amazonia in 2019. Now, on New Year's Day, Canberra was the most populated in the world, partially because of a plume of fire smoke as wide as Europe. Again, this is going on right now in 2020, people. Now, scientists have estimated for it to be close to 500 million of native animals have been killed, and feared that some species of animals are planned to be wiped out completely out there in Australia. Surviving animals are abandoning their young in the wild as a quote-unquote starvation events, and at least 18 people have died on and grave fears that there are many people out there who are still caught into these bushfires. Now, with this going on, a state of emergency has been declared in the North South Wales, and the disaster in Victoria and everything that's on the way. Mass evacuations have been taking place. A humanitarian catastrophe has been feared. Towns have been up, down, going around trying to see what is going on, how to protect everybody, how to get people out of these houses during the bushfire, how to protect animals, and so much more. It's just unbelievably disastrous. And yet, incredibly, the response of Australia's leaders have been unprecedented during this whole national crisis, and yet they have not been able to defend their country, but they for some reason defended their fossil fuel industry, a big donor to both parties, as they are willing to watch the country go down to its doom. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering what caused these fires. That's actually a very complex question. Australia is somewhat familiar with the bushfires. It can be a number of things. It can be a cigarette, but it can be lightning hitting a tree, or it can be arson, or any of these kind of things. But it's just a fraction of what is happening out there. And there's also a lack of rain and low soil moisture that can also help small little fires to grow in size, and that can also triple in that value. Now, if I'm not mistaken, recently there was actually rain that happened out there in Australia. So hopefully it's bringing down some of the fires, and hopefully everything else is going on with the rain and everything that's along with it. Again, even though it might have been going down, it can still blow up in some way. Now, people are wondering, when will it end? That is another complex question. Now, people are suggesting that it will stretch well into 2020. So this has been going on since last year. Okay? And after all, Australia has just been going through, it only has 1 month of summer and dry. Hot conditions persist through March and April, but much needed rain is, going on and everything else along. It needs to be continuously going on in Australia. Now, like I said, you can see all these photos on social media and everything else on the way. You can see on the internet, and it's been a watch with all these harrowing images showing on the fire fort, allowing communities to be held on the beach, like I said, and you see like an orange, dusty skies and everything else on the way. The Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House have disappeared beneath a gray haze multiple times in the last 2 months. Now, again, so much is happening in the beginning of 2020. We thought it's going to be good and everything else on the way. It has not been good, okay? Now, you can help in many ways. You can help donate to the fund, to one of the search teams out there. You can help out with like food and other things along the way. I want to put the links down below so that way you guys can help them out, okay? To all my friends, or if I have any friends out there in Australia, or if I have family out there in Australia, be safe out there. Please, please, please be safe out there. Everyone send a prayer out there, help however you can. Again, people, it's the beginning of 2020 and we are dealing with so much, and it's just so much to bear with what's going on in Australia, and then we go on to our side, and it's just true and utter chaotic. This next thing I want to talk about, it's so frustrating, makes me so livid that I just, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about if you go on Twitter, social media, and everything along the way, there's a thing going around talking about World War III. And people are, wondering, is this happening? Is this not happening? What is going on? Well, this is basically happening because last Friday, Trump launched an airstrike on an Iran military leader, Qasem Soleimani. Now, hours after the strike, Trump said in his intention was to stop a war. Now, we did not take action to start a war, but the Trump actions may soon catch up to him on his words, especially when he's fighting an election campaign thing, with the whole impeachment and everything else along the way. It just makes me so livid to even hear about this or even read about this. But the main question that everybody's concerned about is what's to come? What is happening? Where are we going with all of this? Well, the Trump administration has warned members of Congress that Iran is expected to retaliate against the U.S., quote unquote, within weeks, that the strike against Soleimani, even as they failed, it was just going on and everything else on the way, but that it was operated for merit due to an immediate threat against American lives. Now, you do need to read up more about Soleimani and everything else on the way, but it's just a lot to bear with, and there is also intense discussion taking place inside the U.S. military and intelligence agencies to assess whether Iran might prepare for some of these strikes in the next few days, or if they're giving it some time, according to a U.S. official with a direct knowledge of the situation. They said that these are conflicting views, and Iran will either retaliate or they wait, but the U.S. military defenses are ready, the official said. Now, Iran can retaliate by hitting U.S. Regional allies inside Iraq and the Middle East, where some of our soldiers are overseas. Administration have said, and they can note the apparent concerns about unspecific Gulf partners. At Fort Bragg, my apologies. At least 3,500 soldiers in the Army's 82nd Airborne Division were ordered to the Middle East in one of the largest rapid deployments in decades. And some of the soldiers weren't even prepared for all this. Trump, he's tweeting all about this. He goes, oh, blah, 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 I'm attacking Iran, blah, 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 I'm doing all this. And people on Twitter are retaliating. You know, people are saying like, this is actually a hate crime. We are not at war with Iran. The American people do not want a war with Iran. This is basically a democracy. You do not get starting a war with Iran, and your threats put our troops and diplomats at a greater risk. Now, again, people, we don't know how, you know, what with our soldiers, people are out there sacrificing their lives and everything, and I pray that they come back safely. Okay? I've got family in the military, I've got friends in the military, and you know, just hearing about this, I worry about that. You know, one of my friends, she was saying that I believe it was her brother or a friend of hers was supposed to be coming back. However, with this going on, who knows when they'll come back, okay? And then Trump tweeted something that truly and utterly pissed me off on so many levels. Trump tweeted, he said, the United States spent just $2 trillion on military equipment. We are the biggest one and by far the best in the world. If Iran wants to attack a military base or any American, we will send some of that brand new equipment that way and without hesitation. You spent $2 trillion on military equipment, whereas you could have used that money to help out the homelessness, to help out vets. You could have helped out the student loan debt and so much more for this country. But yet, for some idiotic and stupid reason, you wanted to use it just for military equipment. For all you guys who say Trump is not a bad guy, Trump is doing all this kind of stuff, hey, if you watch my videos, you understand that he needs to get out of office. Him, Pence, and all of his Trump administration, they need to go. Because this is ridiculous. We don't know what's to come within these next few days of 2020. We figure 2019, that whole decade, you know, all that we were going, you know, all that hatred, all that bigotry, all that, you know, war, all that stuff was going to be gone within the beginning of 2020. But it's not. Apparently, we just keep going, you know. We think, oh, you say 2020 is that year. You know, 2020 is that year. I'm sorry to say it's not going to be that year. Because we are going to deal with a lot of things in this year. You know, like I say, you got to rise up. You got to make your voice be heard. You know, let people know what is going on out there. Like I'm doing right now, okay? Again, he spent $2 trillion. He could have used that money to help out with Australia in their bushfires. But unfortunately, he wanted to use that money for freaking military equipment. Now, I know some of you guys are probably saying, Bryant, calm down. Some of y'all thinking, Bryant, you're an idiot. Let me tell you something. I'm speaking my opinion. I'm speaking the truth. This is what I'm thinking, and this is what I want to say, okay? If you actually care about this nation, you wouldn't be doing all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot to bear with, okay? And, you know, prayer is something we all need, you know? And most people, they think, no, prayer is not something. No, prayer is something we need. Having a friend, family, you know, that is something we all need. Again, people, we thought the beginning of this year was going to be great. Unfortunately, it's not. Okay? But, folks, let me know what you think about what is going on with this Australia bushfires. Let me know what you guys thinking about the whole World War III, if this is actually happening, or anything else along the way. Just let me know what's on your mind, okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let people know I'm out there giving a good word, because that is what I'm doing. I'm making sure people know what is happening in our world, okay? With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I pray for you guys. I love all y'all. All right? Peace out.